Why is it time to accumulate Bitcoin? Oh shit, Denis is signed to endorse a crypto coin to make money off of us. Yes, of course. So then I can just live like this. So just recently, Japan decided to have stimulus packages for its entire citizens across the entire country. Now that stimulus package would be equivalent to a total of $113 billion, and its president also mentioned that it has plans to cut off taxes to promote spendings amongst its citizens. Now we've got the Israel and Palestine war, and on top of that, the Ukraine and the Russia war is still going on. Now, just because the mainstream media is not reporting about the Russia and the Ukraine war does not mean that it is not going on. And it's one of the reasons why I don't really fully trust the mainstream media these days, but that is a story for another time. But these two wars are already tough enough for the entire world to just sit around and watch. And to speak about sit around and watch, some countries are supporting some other countries, which then brings me to my next point, which is people supporting other countries and having opposition views and perspectives. So that potentially might create even more conflict in the near future. And not just that, there are a few regions that are at a very high tension right now. For example, China. So this is just based on pure speculation from my point of view. But if the current wars last a little bit longer for the next 2 to 3 years, I believe that many other countries potentially might bring their beef into the MMA ring to settle it once and for all. And I don't mean this in a good way. Moving on, let's talk about the Bitcoin's moving average. Now the 10-day, 20-day and 50 days moving average is still on an uptrend, and it still looks like it has a lot of steam to break more resistance. So in the short term, it is definitely a good opportunity for you guys to make a quick buck. I'm not sure how short term that short term will be, but in the long term, we can never be too sure. Now, if you have watched this video right here, which I released 2 months ago to tell you to buy Bitcoin, and if you've really bought Bitcoin, you would have gotten a capital gain of 31% in just 2 months. How crazy is that? Cry me a river. Nobody else watched the video. It only garnered about 300 views. Too late now. Bitcoin has already surged. Well, what's going to happen in the near future is not what I can predict, but I'm definitely not a genius, so don't listen to me this time. It is also not a financial advice. It is strictly for entertainment and sharing purposes only. Crypto bubbles are all green now, and all the altcoins are following the trend, which is only going to cause a psychology effect on investors' decisions, and it would probably push them to buy more into the altcoins and cryptocurrencies for the time being. Now, I'm not a genius, but I do believe that sometimes when it comes to evaluating the market sentiments, it's more so about the common sense and observation towards the market sentiment. Plus, that is how I actually had the guts to tell you guys to buy Bitcoin 2 months ago, back then when I released that video. The bullish market that we're in right now will probably get even stronger in the near coming future, in the next coming few months, before it will start to plateau a little bit, and then maybe we will enter the bear market if our predictions for all the bad things from the macroeconomics standpoint of view happens. So here's the reason why I'm telling you guys or myself to buy Bitcoin during this very uncertain time or very unprecedented times. So there's a lot of uncertainty because again, macroeconomics play a huge factor in the market sentiment. Now, apart from that, Bitcoin has considered to be a safe haven for some of the investors to store their value of their money, just like the commodities or the natural resources like gold, oil, and bonds. Now, not only that, our money, day by day, year by year, it seems like it is depreciating in value very quickly. Now, this really depends on the micro and the macro factors of the country. US dollars value used to be tied to or dependent on a certain type of commodity. Typically, it will be gold, silver, or any kind of natural resources. But after the year of 1971, they've changed their rules. The entire value of its currency, mainly US dollars, are now depending on its policies instead of commodities. Look, you don't need to be a genius to know that if everyone is a billionaire tomorrow, then no one will be a billionaire. Through the huge amount of stimulus checks printed by the Feds in the past, everyone's spending power would increase. But that will not increase the efficiency of the output or the production of the current resources that people are looking for. So then this will inevitably increase the price in all of the same amount of products or resources that people are looking for. Which also means that the value of the currency has dropped year by year. And it is not just 2%. It is more than that, especially in the last 3 years. Now, looking at Malaysia's inflation rate in the past 3 years, it is really not too bad. We have some deflation going on in the past, and then it goes all the way up until 3% of inflation maxed. But if you were to take a look at the US's inflation rate in the last 3 years, in the year of 2021, we've got a whopping 7%, 22, 6.5%, and 23 at 3.7%. You may think that this is only happening in the US, but don't forget that currencies around the world are all interrelated to each other, so one goes down in value, it will affect all the other currencies around the world.
Are you gay?
Yeah.
My choice! My choice! My choice!
Now, why am I making this video? So here are the few takeaways that I want to share with you guys. So during these unprecedented times, you should be investing or accumulating more assets that you are optimistic in, things that you believe in, things that you see a future in when you put your money into that asset. Probably some commodities and maybe some bonds just to stay safe as well if you're not able to take up a lot of or a huge appetite of risk. Next up, you just need to be optimistic and be good at finding the next opportunity. Now, if you want to get rich, one of the biggest traits or skills that you need to possess is the ability to find opportunities or windows of opportunities. But one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite investors, Warren Buffett's advice was, buy when there's blood on the streets. And now, and I don't say this as a joke, there's literally bloods on the streets in other countries. Now, I'm not here to say that we should not care about them and we should just be focusing on making money. Of course, I'm privileged to just sleep on a comfortable bed, have a roof over my head. But when there's an opportunity, I'll just pounce on it with the money that I have and invest into assets that I'm optimistic in. Remember when I said that you have to be optimistic? Now, I sincerely believe that things will get better soon. And if it doesn't, it only gets worse. And if it gets worse, money don't even matter anyways by then. Because then money would just be paper. It's not going to feed me. And the last takeaway from this video is to take risks while you're young. And I believe that if you're watching this video and if you're watching me speak, then I believe that you're not that matured of an age. You're probably from 18 onwards to an upwards of maybe 25, 26 years old. And until 30, I believe that we're still young and we can still afford to take risks, especially when we haven't got any kind of responsibilities or any kind of commitments yet. You live under your parents' roof, you eat good, you sleep good. I believe that the money that you make from your job or from your side hustle, from your business or whatever, I believe that it is definitely worth taking the risk to go invest into some assets for a more secure or a stable future. And taking a little bit of calculated risk will not harm anyone. Just make sure you're not gambling, do your own research, really believe in the assets that you believe in it, swing big, make big money, but if you lose, lose with honor and lose without regret. It's really simple as that. And at the end of the day, it's just money. It's not way too big of a deal. The best privilege that a human can have is your health and your safety. I hope you guys stay safe, invest safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Shit.